It was a rainy afternoon in the little town where Lena lived. Raindrops tapped against her bedroom window, making soft little rivers down the glass. The sky was heavy with grey clouds, and the sound of thunder rolled gently in the distance. Inside her room, Lena sat cross-legged on the floor with a deep sigh. She had already read her favorite books twice that morning. She had built her tallest block tower and carefully knocked it down again. She had filled her sketchpad with colorful drawings of flowers, butterflies, and balloons. And yet, she was bored. Very bored. "Nothing exciting ever happens on rainy days," she mumbled, pressing her nose against the cool glass. She watched two raindrops race each other down the window. One won, the other disappeared into the sill. Just then, something unusual caught her eye. From under her bed, a small sparkle of light flickered, then rolled out slowly, as if it wanted her to notice it. "What is that?" Lena whispered. She reached under the bed and pulled out a paintbrush unlike any she had ever seen. Its bristles shimmered like liquid gold, and the wooden handle glittered faintly, almost as if stars were trapped inside it. Lena didn't remember owning such a paintbrush, but her curiosity bubbled up. Without thinking twice, she dipped it into her watercolor set and painted a small red ball on her paper. The moment her brush left the page, poof, the ball lifted right off the paper. It bounced on the floor perfectly round and real, scattering golden dust as it landed. Lena gasped. Her eyes sparkled. Her heart raced. It's magic!" she exclaimed. She quickly locked her bedroom door, her hands trembling with excitement. She picked up the brush again and painted a pile of candies. Instantly, colorful sweets appeared in a glittery heap. She painted a kite, and it flew across the ceiling, tugging at its string like a playful bird. She painted a doll, and the doll blinked its eyes and waved at her with a cheerful smile. Lena clapped her hands with joy. "This is amazing, my very own magic brush." But just as she was about to paint more, there came a knock at the door. "Lena, called her little brother Tommy. "Do you want to play?" Lena froze. She quickly shoved the glowing brush under her blanket. "I'm busy," she said quickly. The door opened anyway, and Tommy peeked inside, holding something in his small hand. "It's okay," he said cheerfully, "but I saved my last cookie for you." He stretched out his hand. The cookie was a little broken, with one bite missing, but his eyes were shining with kindness. Lena looked at him for a long moment. Something flickered in her heart, but she stayed silent. Tommy shrugged, placed the cookie on her desk, and closed the door. Lena stared at the cookie. Her excitement dimmed a little. That night, when everyone was asleep, Lena picked up her magical brush again. She wanted to paint something special, maybe a puppy to keep her company. She dipped the brush into paint and drew carefully. But when she lifted the brush, nothing happened. The picture stayed flat. The brush no longer glowed. She frowned. "What? Why won't you work?" She tried again, painting a bicycle, then a rainbow, then a little bird. But none of them came alive. The brush was dull, lifeless gray. Lena's shoulders drooped. Her throat tightened. "Please, come back," she whispered. But no golden dust appeared. No sparkle returned. She clutched the brush sadly and whispered, Maybe I should have shared you." The next morning, Lena sat by the window, the magic brush hidden in her lap. Outside, she saw Tommy playing with the neighborhood children. He gave his toy car to another boy, helped a girl tie her shoelaces, and even shared the marbles he loved most. His laughter rang out, bright and kind. Lena's heart gave a soft twist. She finally understood. The brush hadn't left her. It was waiting for kindness, waiting for sharing. Quietly, she walked to Tommy's room, holding the brush behind her back. "Tommy," she said gently, "I have something special to show you." His eyes widened as she revealed the glowing brush. Its golden shimmer had returned, faint but alive. "Woo!" Tommy gasped. "It's beautiful. What does it do?" Lena smiled. "Do you want to find out together?" Tommy jumped up. "Yes, let's go." Together, they ran outside to the old willow tree, where there was plenty of empty space. Lena dipped the brush and painted a tall, twisty slide. With a whoosh it appeared, gleaming with color. Tommy laughed and drew a set of swings. Creak, swish. The swings came to life. "Look, they really work!" he shouted, hopping on. Lena giggled and painted a merry-go-round, spinning with magical lights. Tommy added a trampoline that bounced so high, the children squealed with delight. Soon the glow of the brush grew brighter and brighter. It shone like a miniature sun. The village children gathered around, eyes wide with wonder. One by one they ran to the magical playground, sliding, swinging, jumping and laughing. Lena's heart swelled. For the first time she wasn't just creating for herself, she was creating for everyone. Tommy looked at her, his smile wide and proud. "See? Sharing really does make things better." Lena laughed, her eyes sparkling. "Way better." The sun dipped low in the sky. The playground glowed golden in the evening light. Lena picked up the brush and admired it. "It came back to life," she whispered. "Maybe it just needed a little kindness." But then, something unexpected happened. The brush began to hum. Its glow shifted from soft gold to brilliant, blinding light. The ground trembled gently. Children stopped playing and turned their heads. Above them in the sky, golden dust swirled and twisted. The shape of something large began to form. A long, shining tail. Great shimmering wings. A head with glowing eyes. A dragon made of starlight hovered above the playground, its roar echoing through the evening air. The children gasped. Some clung to each other. Tommy gripped Lena's arm tightly. Lena," he whispered, his voice trembling. Did you paint that?" Lena's eyes were wide with shock. Her hand trembled around the brush. "No, I didn't." The dragon's glowing eyes turned slowly, staring right at them. The magical brush pulsed with light in Lena's hand, as if warning her of something. And then, the starlit dragon spread its glowing wings across the evening sky. Golden sparks fell like shooting stars, lighting up the playground. Children gasped, their laughter turning into silence. Even the swings and slide creaked to a stop, as if the playground itself was holding its breath. The dragon's enormous eyes glowed bright amber. It lowered its head, gazing directly at Lena and Tommy. Lena," Tommy whispered, clutching her sleeve tightly. "I think it's looking at you." Lena's heart pounded in her chest. She gripped the magical brush, which pulsed with light, as if it was alive. I didn't paint this," she stammered. The dragon's deep rumbling voice filled the air. "Child of the brush," it said slowly, its voice like rolling thunder. "You have awakened me." The children gasped again. Tommy's eyes grew wider than ever. "It can talk," he whispered loudly. The dragon tilted its shimmering head. "Long ago, this brush was made not for games, but for guardianship. And now, it has chosen you." "Guardianship," Lena echoed, trembling. The dragon nodded. "The brush holds great power, but it must be used with kindness and courage, or it will invite shadows into your world." Suddenly, the brush glowed so brightly that Lena had to shield her eyes. A beam of golden light shot from it, landing on the ground before her. Slowly, letters appeared written in shimmering dust. "Complete the first trial." Tommy squinted. "Trial? What does that mean?" The dragon's wings beat once, sending a warm gust of wind through the playground. "The brush will test your heart. Only then will you understand its true magic." And just like that, whoosh, the playground around them began to fade. The swings, the slide, the trampoline, all melted away into golden mist. The children gasped and vanished too, carried back to their homes as if by magic. Lena and Tommy suddenly found themselves standing in the middle of a vast, glowing forest. The trees shimmered with golden leaves, and strange, glowing creatures peeked from behind the trunks. Fireflies floated in the air like tiny lanterns. Tommy blinked. "Where are we?" Lena held the brush tightly. I think we're inside the magic." The dragon's voice echoed from above the trees. "Your first trial awaits. To prove your heart, you must create, not for yourself, but for another." Before Lena could answer, the ground shook. From between the glowing trees, a figure appeared, small, shivering, and crying. It was a little boy made entirely of starlight. His clothes were torn and his eyes glistened with tears. Tommy stepped forward gently. "Hey, are you okay?" The star boy sniffled. "I lost my home. I lost my family. Can you help me?" Lena looked down at the brush. Her hands trembled. This was her test. She had to create something. Not for fun, not for herself, but to truly help someone in need. She knelt beside the boy. "Don't worry," she said softly. "We'll help you." With careful strokes, Lena painted a small, cozy house with smoke curling from its chimney. As she lifted the brush, the house shimmered into reality. Warm, glowing, safe. The star boy's eyes lit up. A home. Thank you. He ran inside and peeked out from the window, smiling with joy. But before Lena could breathe a sigh of relief, shadows slithered across the forest floor. Dark, inky shapes rose like smoke, twisting into sharp, crooked creatures with glowing red eyes. Tommy's voice shook. Lena? I don't think those things are here to play." The dragon's voice rumbled again. "The brush gives, but it also attracts. Every act of creation calls the shadows of greed. Protect what you have made." The shadow creatures hissed, moving closer. The star boy whimpered inside his new house. Lena raised the brush, her heart pounding. She painted quickly, a shining wall of light around the little house. Poof! It appeared just in time, blocking the shadows. But more kept coming. Dozens of them. Their whispers echoed, "Give us the brush, give us the brush." Tommy grabbed Lena's hand. "Lena, paint something bigger, something that can protect all of us." Lena closed her eyes. She thought of her brother's kindness, of the cookie he had shared, of all the laughter in the playground. She dipped the brush into golden light and swept it across the air. A magnificent guardian appeared, a giant golden lion with a mane of fireflies. It roared, shaking the forest. The shadow creatures shrieked and scattered into the darkness. The forest grew calm again. The dragon's voice filled the air. "You have passed the first trial, but this is only the beginning." The star boy stepped out of his house, smiling with gratitude. "Thank you, Lena. Thank you, Tommy. But be careful. The trials will grow harder, and the shadows will return." Before they could ask more, the forest began to fade into golden mist once again. The lion bowed and dissolved into light. The star boy vanished, leaving behind a single glowing star that floated into Lena's hands. Tommy stared at it in awe. "What is it?" Lena held it close. I think it's a piece of the brush's magic." The dragon's deep voice rumbled again, fainter this time. 3 trials await. Complete them and the brush will reveal its true secret. The golden forest melted away. Lena and Tommy found themselves back under the old willow tree, the magical playground restored. But in Lena's hand, the glowing star pulsed softly, a reminder that it wasn't a dream. Tommy looked at her with wide eyes. "Lena, what if we fail the next trial?" Lena squeezed the brush, her expression serious but brave. "Then we don't fail. We'll face it together." But above them, hidden among the clouds, the shadows were watching. Their red eyes gleamed, whispering promises of stealing the brush for themselves. And far away, in a forgotten corner of the village, an old man opened his eyes. "They've awakened the brush," he muttered with a smile that wasn't kind. "At last." And then, the night after their first trial, Lena lay awake, the glowing star pulsing softly on her bedside table. Tommy snored gently in the bed next to hers. The brush, resting in its wooden box, shimmered faintly, as though whispering secrets only Lena could hear. Outside, the sky was restless. Dark clouds swirled, and somewhere far away, a low growl rumbled. By morning, Lena and Tommy discovered something strange. The playground they had painted was fading. The slide turned pale, the swings sagged, and the trampoline vanished completely. Tommy frowned. "It's disappearing! Why?" The brush glowed in Lena's hand, writing words in golden dust again. "Second trial awaits." Before they could react, the world around them shimmered. In an instant, they were whisked away again, this time to a vast desert of golden sand, stretching as far as the eye could see. The dragon's voice echoed from the sky. "Your second trial is courage. Face what you fear." Lena and Tommy looked around nervously. The heat pressed down on them. Suddenly the sand shifted and enormous shadow serpents rose from the dunes, hissing with glowing red eyes. Tommy gulped. Sand snakes. Lena, I really don't like snakes. He clung to her arm, trembling. Lena tightened her grip on the brush. We can do this. Together. She quickly painted a giant shimmering shield around them. The snakes struck, but sparks flew off the golden shield. Tommy, shaking, forced himself to take the brush when Lena handed it to him. You try, Lena encouraged softly. Tommy hesitated, then squeezed his eyes shut and drew with clumsy strokes. To his amazement, a soaring falcon of pure light appeared, swooping down to chase the serpents away. The boy who once feared snakes laughed in delight. I did it! I actually did it! The dragon's voice rumbled approvingly. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the strength to act despite it. You have passed the second trial. The desert melted away into golden mist, leaving Lena and Tommy breathless but proud. But far away in the village, the old man who had whispered in the shadows before now stood before the children's fading playground. His cloak was dark, and his eyes glowed red. He lifted his hand, and the remaining shadows gathered around him. The brush should have been mine long ago, he hissed. If those children complete the trials, its true power will be sealed away from me forever. I won't allow it. Back under the willow tree, Lena and Tommy barely had time to rest before the brush blazed again. Final trial. The choice of heart. The world blurred. This time they found themselves standing in a grand hall of mirrors. Each mirror shimmered with moving images, pictures of candy, toys, golden castles, and treasures beyond imagining. Tommy's mouth fell open. Whoa, is all this real? The dragon's voice whispered faintly. The brush tempts the heart. What will you create when you can have everything? In one mirror, Lena saw herself painting mountains of candy, endless toys, and shiny jewels. The temptation tugged at her heart. Another mirror showed her parents smiling and clapping, praising her as the greatest artist in the world. Her hand trembled. It looks so nice, she murmured. Then she looked at Tommy. He wasn't staring at the mirrors. He was watching her, worried. Lena, remember the playground? Remember the star boy? The brush only works when we share. Lena blinked, her heart clearing. She turned away from the mirrors and raised the brush. Instead of painting riches, she painted something else, a great glowing bridge of light that stretched from mirror to mirror, breaking their illusions. Suddenly, the hall shattered like glass. The brush pulsed with golden fire. You have passed the final trial, the dragon declared. Your heart has chosen well. But before Lena could celebrate, the hall darkened. From the shadows stepped the old man, his cloak swirling like smoke. So, you passed the trials, he sneered. But the brush is mine. He lifted his hands, and the shadows swarmed, forming monstrous shapes that filled the hall. The children gasped. Tommy grabbed Lena's hand. The dragon's voice thundered. He is the Shadow Keeper. Long ago he tried to steal the brush, now he returns. The old man's eyes blazed red. Give me the brush, girl, or your little brother will vanish into the shadows. Tommy squeezed Lena's hand tighter. Don't listen to him. Lena lifted the brush, her heart racing. The shadows lunged. She painted desperately. Walls of light, beams of gold, animals of fire. Each time the shadows broke through. The old man laughed. You are strong, but not strong enough. Lena closed her eyes. Not alone. She handed the brush to Tommy. Together. They held it at the same time, and the brush shone brighter than ever before. Golden fire burst from its bristles, sweeping across the hall. The line of light returned, joined by the falcon and hundreds of fireflies. The shadows shrieked, burning away like smoke in the wind. The old man staggered back. No! This cannot be! He reached for the brush one last time. But Lena painted a door of golden chains that wrapped around him, trapping him inside a mirror. The mirror sealed shut with a flash of light. The hall crumbled into stardust. The dragon's mighty form appeared above them, radiant and smiling. You have completed the trials. The brush is yours, bound forever to your kindness. Its true magic is not in what it creates, but in the love and courage it awakens. The dragon bowed low before them, then dissolved into 1,000 golden stars, vanishing peacefully into the sky. Lena and Tommy found themselves back under the willow tree, the playground restored brighter than ever. Children rushed to play, their laughter filling the air. Lena placed the brush carefully in its box, writing new words on it. For sharing only. Tommy nudged her with a grin. So, what do we paint next? Lena laughed, her heart full. Something for everyone. And as the sun set, the playground glowed with golden light, alive with joy. The shadow threat was gone, the trials were complete, and the magical paintbrush, once just a secret toy, had become a gift of kindness, forever reminding them that true magic is found in sharing. The moral of the story is, true magic shines brightest when it is shared with love and kindness. Selfishness dims our gifts, but generosity multiplies joy for everyone.